And if we look at the URL bar, we see now we have the correct URL, isitmondaytoday.com. And now we can get to the WordPress admin page without even logging into Hostinger. We don't have to just go and click this WordPress admin button. We can actually go to the URL directly. Now I'm going to delete this, and now if we just go to isitmonday.com/wp-admin. WP stands for WordPress, and admin is just the admin page. So this is how we can get to our WordPress admin page, and then we would have to log in. I'm already logged in, but after you get logged in, then we can update our WordPress page and customize it from here. I'll zoom in a bit. So we can still get back to the Hostinger admin page, but we're just going to go right to the main WordPress dashboard right now. So this is what you're going to see no matter who your hosting provider is. So once we're on the dashboard, we can pop over to our website. And this is our website. Pretty sparse, not exactly what we want, but we're going to fix that. And you see this black bar at the top? We can only see that because we're logged in to the admin page. The users of the website, other viewers, will not see this black bar. And now I can click here again to go back to the dashboard. So now we can start setting things up. First, I'm going to go to the settings, and we're just going to do some basic updates to the settings. So now we can do the site title. Instead of just the URL, I'm just going to call it, is it Monday today? And then for the tagline, which is just a short explanation about what the site's about. And this is where you could change the administrative email address if you want. We can change the date format that's being used, the time format, and what day the week starts on. Obviously, we're going to keep it as Monday. And there's some other settings you may want to look at, like default settings for commenting on posts, and there's default settings for media. But one thing I want to go to is the permalink. And you want to make sure, sometimes it'll default to plain. You want to be the post name, because this is going to have better SEO value if you can see the post name in the URL instead of just the post number here. So after we get all that done, we can go over to plugins. Now, plugins are kind of like extra things and extra apps that you can install into your page. So we're going to go through, and I'm just going to delete this Hostinger Easy Onboarding because I'm going to just show you how to do everything, so we don't need this onboarding. So first I'm going to deactivate it, and then we're going to delete it. And I can click delete here. Depending on how you have WordPress installed, you may have just a bunch of plugins here. We don't really need any plugins to start with, though I will keep a few of these here that we may end up using. And now we're going to add some new plugins. We're going to install 3 essential plugins that will give us pretty much everything we need. First, we are going to plug in or install Elementor. So I'm just going to go to popular plugins, and we'll see it right here. Elementor Website Builder. This is the most popular page builder and will allow us to create beautiful pages visually. So I'm just going to click Install Now and activate. And then it goes to our setup for Elementor. Basically, we're going to skip that. We could create an account, but I'm not going to. We could continue with Hello Theme provided by Elementor, but this is very bare bones and makes it so you have to do a lot of things manually. So we're going to use a different theme later that will give us a lot more features. So I'm going to skip this for now, and skip this for now, and I'm going to skip this for now, because we're going to do everything manually. So it's already into editing things on our page with Elementor, but we're not going to do that quite yet. So I'm going to go back to our admin page. So we're going to install a theme, but first let's install one more plugin to help us with forms. So I'm going to go to add new plugin, and I'm going to search for WP Forms. WP Forms makes it easy to add contact forms and other things like that, and we will be adding a contact form. Okay, I'll activate that. Now we're going to change the appearance by adding a theme. So I'm going to go to add new theme, and I'm going to use the theme Astra. Astra is a lightweight, fast theme, and it works perfectly with Elementor. So we can go into like this information page, but I'm just going to click install and activate. So to get a website up and running really quick, I like to use a template. So I went to Astra here. That's the theme we just added. And I'm going to go to starter templates and then install and activate. And I'm just going to use a template here. And we're using Elementor. We don't need to use the AI builder. Now we can see that there's all these different templates, and we can actually choose any of these templates. So we want to go through and look at which website looks closest to the one that we want to create. So you can look at all these templates, and depending on the type of site you're creating, you'll be wanting to use a different template. So we can search through all of these, but I'm going to go up to the top. And remember, any of these we can customize, and we definitely are going to customize. I kind of like this one. We haven't used it yet. We're just looking at it. And yeah, this looks pretty nice. Now we can start to customize it even here before we select it. So obviously we can customize it even more once we install the template, but I can change the font, and I kind of like this one here. We can change the color palette. Now I'm going to use this style 9 here. Again, all these things can be changed later, and then click continue. And now we can choose if we want to add any extra features. Well, I don't. I just want the page builder and the contact form, and submit. I didn't even have to put in my email address. Okay, now just view the website to see what it looks like. So it just installed this whole We All Love Nature. And so now we're going to customize this so it meets our needs better. So we're going to customize basically everything on here, but let's start with the logo. We're going to create a new logo, and I'm just over on canva.com, which allows you to create images, and we can create a logo here. So I'm just going to search for a calendar element since it's Is It Monday, and I like this blank one. So I'm just going to make this pretty big. And then I just added a text box, and I'm going to move this up here, and I'm basically just putting a giant M in the middle for Monday. I can change the font. Okay, that looks pretty good for our logo. So we're going to share, download, transparent background. And I'm actually going to make it smaller, 250 by 250 pixels, and download. And we'll make 2 versions of the logo. So this is the black version. So let's also make a white version of the logo. So I'm going to change that to white, change this to white. Now we're not going to be able to see anything right now, but when we export it with a transparent background, it should show white against the transparent background, and I'll download that. Okay, let's go back into our dashboard, and we'll add these images.